Okay, hello, rock fans, and welcome. This event is brought to you by Experience Vinyl, where you can find over 40,000 in stock records, including limited edition and exclusive pressings. It's hosted by Gigaverse.com, your go to platform for exclusive, interactive experiences with music stars you love. Stay plugged into the Experience Vinyl community on Gigaverse for even more opportunities to connect with your favorite artists. Tonight, I'm your host, Louis V from vinyllatte.com, a vinyl community on YouTube where we celebrate all things vinyl. A recording of today's program will be available on the channel after we conclude. Tonight, depending on where you're calling from, we are thrilled to present a live Q&A with Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Matt Sorum. Submit your questions in the chat. We'll be selecting up to 10 questions for Matt to answer live. If your question is chosen, you'll be invited on stage to ask it directly. So make sure your camera and microphone are ready. You never know if your question is going to be the one that Matt answers. Before we begin, please allow me to get through some housekeeping rules. We asked you, number one, to stay on topic. Let's focus on celebrating Contraband. Save questions about Matt's work outside this iconic album for another time. Number two is to stay family friendly. Please keep all language and comments appropriate for everyone in the attendance. Number three, be camera and microphone ready. If your question is selected, you'll be invited on stage to join and ask Matt directly. So ensure your equipment is working properly. And number four, be ready to engage. If your question is chosen and you decline, or you're unable to join, we'll move to the next question to keep things flowing. So let's make this a great experience for everyone. Get those questions in the chat so we can get things kicked off as soon as Mr. Matt rolls in, which will be here just in a moment, guys. Let's get those questions in. All right. If you just joined, please submit your questions and have your camera and microphone ready to be brought on stage if your question is answered or selected, I should say, for Matt to answer. Okay. I would tell you now, y'all are making it hard to find a good starting question. You guys got so many amazing questions. Guys, thank you so much for joining. We appreciate it. Drop your questions in the chat for Mr. Matt. And we're going to get started here in just a moment. All right, if you just joined us, Matt's going to be here in any moment. We're asking you to go ahead and drop your questions into the chat. Somebody's going to be lucky to have their question selected, and then you're going to be brought on stage to ask Matt your question directly. So be sure that your microphone and video works. If you do not accept the invite to come on stage, you will not have the opportunity to ask your question live to Matt. So be sure all that works now, guys. You have your permissions in your browser and on your computer that you need to accept and all that stuff that you typically have to do before you share your video and sound. Be sure to have that ready. You guys got a lot of great questions in the chat. Okay, I'm going to start pinning some good questions, guys. You will be invited on stage if your question is selected. Yeah, Graybeards, everybody was dropping in where they're based out of when they joined. Oh, look who it is. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my absolute honor to introduce you to the star of our show. A true rock legend, Matt Sorum is a powerhouse drummer who helped shape the sound of Guns N' Roses, The Call, and Velvet Revolver. And today we celebrate 20 years of Velvet Revolver's Grammy-winning debut, Contraband, the album that gave you unforgettable hits like Slither and Fall to Pieces. Please join me in welcoming the one, the only Matt Sorum.
Whoa! We need can clapping.
And clapping.
Go. How you guys doing out there? I see we have 33 in the audience, huh?
Yeah, they're coming on in, Matt, and I think we have a leading question ready for you if you're ready to invite somebody up on stage.
Bring them.
All right.
Thanks for being here, everyone. Appreciate it. Tell you what we're doing here in a second. So this is a thing I've been working on called Gigaverse for about the last 4 years. And you're in a beta test, so we're not launched yet. So this is a special event for the internal team and you special people that bought the Velvet Revolver Contraband record from Experience Vinyl, and I appreciate that. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. We're going to go ahead and try to invite our first person to the stage. Remember, you are going to come on stage with mic and video, so be prepared for that. And if you decline, we're going to move on to somebody else, right? So here we go.
All right.
All right, Mr. Brandon.
G'day, Matt. Hi from Sydney, Australia. It's amazing to chat to you in person.
So cool. What time is it there?
It is 11:10 on Wednesday morning, so I might be in the future for you right now.
Yeah. I just got back from Japan, so I get the date line, right? You go over the date line.
Amazing. I was lucky enough to see Velvet Revolver in 2005 in Sydney, both concerts. So incredible memories.
Yeah, well, I love playing Australia, man. Australia, it's just such a great rock and roll country, right? I mean, we all know that AC/DC hails from there, and a band, Rose Tattoo, that was very influential on Guns N' Roses, Australian rock and roll band. They one of the first bands I ever saw that had that many tattoos, right?
They supported Slash last year on his tour, so I saw that, which was amazing. So
yeah, Angry Anderson, who went on to be a star in Mad Max.
That's
remember?
Right. Yeah, I do remember. Yeah,
and
great.
there's another band that I love from Australia called Angel City.
Okay. Yeah, great.
Of course, Midnight Oil. But anyway, yeah. What's your question?
Just well, thank you so much. You've toured with so many amazing artists and bands. Which have been some of the most sort of fun and relaxed touring experiences? And conversely, which ones have been a bit more challenging and why?
Well, I just did a tour. I've been touring a little bit here and there with Billy Gibbons. We made a record called Hardware, and we did about a 6-week tour on that record because he's in ZZ Top. So we did a solo album, Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top. And it was probably one of the most fun tours I've ever done in my life because Billy's just the classic rock and roll character. He's just so fun to hang out with, and every day was an adventure. He'd say, we'd be in like El Paso, and he'd say, Matt, I know where to get the best jalapeno soup. And we'd go to, so every day was fun with Billy. And then, I've been in so many great bands. One of my highlights was playing a short stint with Motorhead. Another experience that was just bucket list stuff. And the Hollywood Vampires was a gas for a short period. And the Guns N' Roses stuff that we did, that was crazy times, right? We did the big day out down there, the biggest concert in that hemisphere.
Yes.
1,000 people outside Sydney, Australia. And those days were like, that was like over the top kind of stuff. Like, whoa, like, I came through there with Velvet Revolver. I don't think I ever played there with the Cult. But yeah, I mean, for me, I look back at it, like I always say, it's like watching somebody else's movie. So it was just I've had an amazing career, and it just continues to blow my mind with new experiences. So thanks for your question. Thanks for coming. I want to try to get a bunch of people in, but great talking to you.
Thank you so much. Amazing. Thanks. Take care.
See you down under next time.
Can't wait. Awesome. Thanks.
All right. See you. Bye.
Bye.
All right. We are inviting our second person up to the stage.
Cool. That's nice. Sydney, Australia in the house. Now see what this guy. Oh, Mark Lanigan forever. God. All right. Just got to get the camera going and the microphone, and we're rocking.
That's it.
Yeah. They're trying to find the buttons probably. It's a
There we
new.
go.
There you are.
There we go. Can you hear me?
You're a little low, but we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I'm using my work computer because I don't really have anything else. If it was working from home, I just have my phone. So, I work in a tech environment, but I'm not very tech savvy. Figure that out. Anyway, Matt, thanks for doing this. It's great to see you, man.
I saw Lanigan forever, and I was a huge fan of Mark Lanigan. So,
yeah.
But ask you a question, and we can go into that in a second.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Contraband is such a complete record, but you've been a part of so much. Where does that rank for you personally in terms of what you've done and what you've been a part of?
Contraband was the first band I was ever, or Velvet Revolver was the first band I was ever a founder of. I joined the Cult after they were, much longer after they were formed, and Guns N' Roses, same thing. I came in after Steven Adler, and obviously Slash and Duff and myself formed Velvet Revolver, and then found the singer with Dave Kushner on rhythm guitar. But I was, I had, equal say, and it was an equal band, and we worked that way together very well. It was a little different being in Guns N' Roses because, you just know your place, and you just don't. So, but Velvet Revolver was that band was very instrumental in me to really, I found songwriting through that band. I wrote Set Me Free. I wrote a bunch of songs on those records as a songwriter. That was the first time that ever happened for me, so another really great experience, like probably one of the highlights of my life, because we won a Grammy. I never won a Grammy before. We didn't ever win a Grammy with Guns N' Roses. We only got nominated, never won one.
Yeah.
Oh, that was cool. And yeah. And where are you living? Where are you from?
Central Ohio.
Okay, we played through there many times. Did you see Velvet Revolver there?
Sadly, I never did see Velvet Revolver.
Yeah.
I saw you play for the Call. I mean, I've seen you, in other factions. Unfortunately, never Velvet Revolver. Just very unfortunate.
Cool, man. Well, thank you for being here, and I hope you like This is I'm part of this channel, this Experience Vinyl. That's my company with Seth Frank.
Yeah.
And we sell vinyl online, experiencevinyl.com. And basically, that's where we sold the record, and that's where you bought it, right?
Yeah. Oh, and very hands-on. I also bought another record there, Single Soundtrack Volume 2, that was pushed back, and I was going to cancel it, and I got a personal email that said, "Call me." Sony just finally is delivering, and he didn't have to do much talking, the gentleman did, but he asked me to be patient. It was on its way. So
nice.
I bought several things there, and I love it.
Thank you. And then Gigaverse, I'm a co-founder of this program as well. So this is an early stage beta, we call this. And I appreciate you coming on.
Hey, man. Thank you. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man. All right. We are ready to invite our next person up. Here we go. Invite sent. Is it you? You'll find out here in a second.
Yeah.
There we go. Just get your mic, and there he is. How you doing? Oh, we had him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm wondering,
video.
Louis, if we can open up their stuff for him. Is that possible?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Unmute him.
He's unmuted. His video cut out.
Yeah, I don't know why, but
that's cool. You want to just do a voice? That's fine.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I was just, I'm from France, so nice to see you, Matt, and that's a very cool experience to interact with you. And I was wondering, by doing Contraband and now 20 years later, with all your experience and all you've been through, what's your look at it? Is it something that you interpret differently? Maybe you learn some new stuff during your life, and what do you think about it now, 20 years later?
I'm very proud of that record. And, obviously it was a huge part of my life, and it didn't it wasn't an easy task. You know, there's a Velvet Revolver documentary called The Rise of Velvet Revolver, and it took us about 2.5 years to get that record out, looking for the singer, figuring out the music, and then when we had the success, it was just like, you know, icing on the cake. But we worked really hard, you know, Slash, Duff, and myself, and we were very happy when we had a new title. I remember me and Duff one time being in New York City, and we took the subway. I remember we took the subway, and we were coming out of the subway, and this guy, this kind of younger guy, he looks over at me and Duff. He goes, "You're Duff and Matt from Velvet Revolver." And we never heard that before. It was the guys from Guns N' Roses. So we both looked at each other and we were like, that was cool. Like,
yeah, kind of proud.
We were recognized by this younger kid that maybe that was his first introduction to rock and roll, was this band that came out, you know, I mean, you see, think about GNR. Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 came out in 1991. Velvet Revolver came out in 2004. So that's almost 15 years later. So there's a young guy that might have completely missed GNR.
Yeah.
And of course he went back and discovered GNR after he met Slash, saw Slash. So that was a huge, I remember that moment like it was yesterday. And that's like, yeah, we were like, me and Duff were like so happy about that because we had forged forward, you know, and Axl was still doing his thing with the Guns N' Roses name, and we were just out on our own. And so,
and you were really part of the creation of this band.
Yeah, and I felt culturally it was the right time. We were all fit as a fiddle. We'd all gotten clean off drugs and alcohol. It was a different period in our life, you know, where it was a big moment for all of us, especially when we got nominated for 3 Grammys.
Yeah.
And then we sold 3 million albums and we won 1 Grammy. So that's, you know, that's huge. And so 20 years ago seems like yesterday. It's crazy how fast time goes by, but you know, but yeah, man, I mean, thanks for the question. And I'm going to try to see as many people as I can in the next hour.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you very much.
I love France. Love it.
Come to France. I will be there.
My wife goes there all the time. She's in fashion. So,
okay.
Yeah, she goes more than me, but I want to go back with her next.
So if you want, you can come to the south of France. No worries, you will be welcome. Bye. Au revoir.
All right, folks, make sure you get your questions in the chat for your chance to come on stage and ask them directly to Mr. Matt. Guys, I will invite you on stage. Please don't hit the on stage button. It doesn't increase your chances of getting on stage. All right, here we go. Next one coming out. Be ready.
Yeah. You know, since, there we go.
Here we go.
Hi, Matt. My name's John. I'm from Chicago. Hope you don't mind. I have a little fan here.
Well, I love that.
I've introduced at a very young age.
Good. That gives me hope.
Yeah, both of them. I got the older one here too. But what question, Final Latte, what question was I didn't see what question I should ask here from. I submitted quite a few of them.
Whatever you want.
Yeah, the one around Lenny Kravitz. How about we go there?
Oh, yeah. So, Matt, I did hear a rumor that you guys had brought in Lenny Kravitz to audition potentially as a new singer for Velvet Revolver. Just want to know, was there any truth to that? And if so, anything you can share about that experience? What songs you guys jammed with? Like, it just sounds unbelievable if it happened. So,
well,
I'm curious about that.
Lenny's got quite a career on his own, but you know, we actually, Slash and Lenny went to the same high school together, and I actually just talked to Lenny a couple of days ago, and I was congratulating him on his new massive success. I mean, he's like huge again, and playing stadiums, but yeah, I mean, it was thrown around, it was kicked around. It nothing ever happened. We never got in the room together. We've seen each other on occasion, but we never had the opportunity to try it. Except for the song that Slash and Lenny did together, which was "Mama Said." You know, again, I don't know if that's "Always on the Run."
Always on the Run, yeah.
And But yeah, that would have been amazing. I mean, that was the thing. After Scott, it was how do we replace Scott Weiland? You know, it's like that was a tough call. And everyone knows that Corey Taylor came in for a little while. We did do some recording with Corey Taylor from Slipknot, but it didn't form into anything that was, you know, Slash went off on his own to do a solo act thing, and the band split. But, you know, who knows? You never know. I never say never. Somebody could get like an inkling and we go do something cool, and I don't know. We'll see what happens. But Slash and Duff are pretty busy with Axl, so we're not getting any younger, but we're not as old as the Rolling Stones, so we got time.
They can still do
Jagger gives me a lot of hope because
Yeah.
he's 81 years old and he's still rocking and rolling. I say to people, hey, man, they're like, you're getting kind of old. I go, Mick Jagger's 81 and he's running around like a kid. So I'm like, hey, we got time. We got plenty of time.
Yeah. No, awesome. Well, there's an appetite for it. So if there's any chance, you got some people in Chicago who'd come and see you.
I love Chicago. My friend Billy Gibbons is playing there February 1st. Go see Billy. You know, he's an
we'll
icon.
get to it for sure.
Yeah, he's coming through town. I think he just talked to me. I talked to him yesterday, and he's going to Chicago February 1st. Because I know this because Jane Lynch, the famous actress from Chicago, her brother, she grew up in the, you know, what's the big comedy thing from Chicago?
Second City.
Second City. Jane Lynch came up in Second City and hails from Chicago, and her brother Bob I just got him tickets to Billy Gibbons in Chicago just today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Where's he playing? Do you know where he's playing, Matt?
What
venue?
Hold on a second. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, I'm sure you could get tickets because it's his solo tour. And I usually play with him, but I have to be honest. How cold is it in Chicago right now?
Oh my God.
It's like negative.
Yeah, we're like -6, -10 right now.
He's playing at the Park West.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely look into that.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on.
No, appreciate it. This is awesome you're doing it. Great to
Bye.
see you,
Buying
man.
the record. Thanks for buying the Velvet Revolver
Bye-bye.
record. See you later.
All right. Thank you so much. We have our next question ready. Going to go ahead and invite you to the stage.
Hi.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we lost the video though.
You did? Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I was just saying, be cool if you could just open their
Hi.
account, right? From our side.
They won't allow us to do that though. Security.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Okay, so it's working. Good.
Cool. Yeah. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. I have been a huge fan forever of Velvet Revolver. I mean, so 20 years ago, I think my girlfriends and I would go to every show in Los Angeles, for real.
Oh, wow.
Like
Thank
we
you.
were, well, I mean, I think we went to Santa Barbara once. But you guys were amazing, and you're amazing. I mean, with all the bands that you've toured with, it's unbelievable. And that's cool that you wrote Set Me Free. That's very cool. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. I wrote Spectacle too.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's very cool. That's very cool. I miss seeing you guys live. That's for sure. For sure. So
cool.
my question is, when Velvet Revolver was together, what was your most memorable, wonderful moment, and what was your least favorite moment?
Well, I just said that probably the highlight was when we, you know, I remember when Slither broke on the radio, because we'd worked so hard. I mean, even mixing the album, when we mixed the record, we were really careful about who we chose to mix it because we were in a modern time now. Here we were guys, we were in our early 40s then. I think Slash was 40. I was like 42 or 43. Duff was like 40. And we're like, okay, we're not young guys. And I remember we went out, we got in really good shape. Everyone was like eating like egg whites and chicken breast. I mean, we were off the alcohol. We all got sober. and we had something to prove. We're on fire again. We were hungry. You know, we had all the success with Guns N' Roses, but we wanted to taste it again. And we were out of that band and we were doing our own thing. So we put in a lot of work. We worked really hard. We were rehearsed for like, God, a year and a half to make that record. And when we finally finished the album and we mixed it with Andy Wallace, I remember we picked Andy Wallace because he had done Linkin Park, and we wanted to make sure we didn't sound too old. We didn't want to sound like old classic rock, so we wanted to mix it modern. We used Josh Abram to produce it, who had done like bands like Stained and you know, stuff that I wasn't really familiar with, to be honest with you. It wasn't my thing, but I understood the time and the culture of what people were listening to. We were into Queens of the Stone Age when they came out, Songs for the Deaf, and we were listening to that, like, what's happening musically? We can't just rest on our laurels. So when that album came out, and I remember Slither, we picked the single based on Slash's riff, which was typical Slash awesome riff, and then Weiland's vocal in the verse. And those two combinations of the Stone Temple Pilots vocal perfection of Scott Weiland with Slash's riff and the vibe, and then the video.
Yeah.
When we made the Slither video, we were like, okay, we gotta make some shit explode. And we labored on that video, and we came up with this. We came up with the concepts ourselves, and we pulled the guy out of retirement. I'm spacing out on his name. I'm going to ask AI. Who directed the Slither video for Velvet Revolver? AI. I can't remember. Okay. Let's see if they can find it. Anyway, we pulled them when it gets here. Let's see if the AI is searching.
Right.
We pulled him out of retirement, and he'd done Nirvana. And then Scott came up with this idea to do this video about the catacombs in Prague, and where kids would go underneath the city, the sewers, and party. So if you see those scenes, Scott came up with it. He's like, what are you talking about? And then we recreated all those catacombs in LA with the skulls. So that was, if you go to Paris, France, you can go down in the catacombs where there's millions of bodies buried underneath that city.
No way.
Yes.
That's crazy.
And so we recreated that. And that's the scene where Scott's in front, you know, and of course he looked amazing, and he was in, you know, everyone was in great shape, and we shot it. So, and then when Slither broke on the radio, it was like, oh my God, this is going to take off now. And then it just took off like a cannon. You know, it was like in the music business, when you have that instant like hit, you just got to get on the train and ride it, because it's taking off, and you get better hold on. It's like, okay, here we go. And that's what happened to the band. And all of a sudden we had worldwide tour offers, and we were out on the road for like almost 2 years straight, and almost killed us all. But yeah, so yeah.
Very cool. I just showed my son, who's 12, that video right now, because he always sees all these things that I had from, you know.
Yeah.
And I just showed him that video literally
Yeah.
before I came on.
That was the highest moment, and the worst moment was when we broke up. So
right, that makes sense.
That's pretty simple.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, when we split up, because I think our intention and our goal was we were going to keep this band together. We weren't going to make the same mistakes we made before, and unfortunately, it didn't go down that way. But you know, I mean, I always say we were lightning in a bottle. We had a good run, and we made a couple killer records, especially the first one. But thanks for being here. Did you buy the record off Experience Bundle?
Of course, absolutely. Okay. And whoever I spoke with was so kind, and I'm ordering more. Do you have any more left? Just the other day I emailed.
Oh, Seth, my partner, would tell you. He's on here. You could ask him.
Yeah, it's a sweetheart.
So, and then just check with him on the info, and we'll get more.
We got more. But it's a great company. So
thank you. I'm a partner.
Very
and then
cool.
this is mine too. So thanks for joining the
Thank
conversation.
you so much.
Thank you, Christy. Appreciate you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, Matt, I just want to let you know AI did work. Kevin Kerslake directed the Slither music video. It put it in the chat as a spot on rating. So
Thank
it
you,
did
Kevin
work.
Kerslake. And
Yes.
Kevin Kerslake also did no, that's not him. That's, look at the picture. That's
a different person.
That's the actor, the dude from Yellowstone. Isn't that weird? That's
All right. Well, let's bring up the next person.
Kevin Costner. That's Kevin Costner. Okay. All right. Hey, Steven. Oh, I gotta get your mic on, that's all.
We lost your video and mic, Steven. You can get yourself situated.
So the
Can you hear me?
video. Yeah, there you
We
go.
can
Yeah.
hear you.
Oh,
Yeah.
you can hear me.
Hey,
I
man.
can't see you. No, I can see you anyway.
Where you
How are
calling
you?
from? Where you calling from?
I'm calling from the UK.
Nice.
Yeah, well, from North Wales in the UK.
Sweet. That's Lemmy Kilmister country.
It is indeed. It is indeed. Yeah, so I've managed to see you 3 times whilst you've been on these shores. I watched you once with Guns N' Roses at Freddie's tribute concert.
Wow.
I saw you in 2008 when you played the Mountford Hall, March the 15th, a little small gig there with Velvet Revolver, and also at Live 8 when you played with Velvet Revolver.
Wow,
So,
that was a big gig.
Yeah, man. So yeah, huge fan of yours. I'm a drummer myself, and you hugely influenced that. So,
thanks so much.
Yeah. So again, you pretty much answered my original question, which was going to be, what stamp did you have the most on the album, on Contraband, musically or lyrically? But as you've said, Set Me Free and Spectacle. So you've kind of potentially answered that. So I'll ask you.
Well, I can answer a little deeper. So, Slashed Up and myself always work really good together as a unit, So when we wrote the songs on those records, we actually didn't have a singer, and we were used to that because we did that with Guns N' Roses too. So we actually had almost 60 songs written before Scott Weiland. There you are. Before Scott Weiland showed up, we had 60 songs. And
right,
they were all songs without a chord, no vocals. And Scott, once we got Scott, which is about a year, we spent a year writing those songs, just me, Slashed Up, and Dave Kushner. And Izzy was around for the first period, and then he left. And then Dave Kushner came in. And that's when we kind of found the sound of Velvet Revolver. We went more aggressive. We were a little punkier. We were, and when Scott came in, he grabbed like 15 songs that he liked out of that 60 songs. And that's what you hear on Contraband. And when he came back with the demo, so we every song we would do in rehearsal, we would put on, in those days, on a DAT tape, and we'd have it on a demo, like a rough version. And some of them are killer. I actually think we should put them out, but like raw and just like, and Scott took those demos and he sang on them. The first one he did was Set Me Free. And we went, okay, he's in the band, and that went on the movie The Hulk. And then we did the cover of Money for the movie Gone in 60 Seconds. Not Gone in 60 Seconds. Yeah. No, was it Gone in 60 Seconds? I think so. No, I'm spacing out. Okay, I'm going to ask AI. I got to ask AI. What song by Velvet Revolver? Money by Velvet Revolver was a sound on what soundtrack? Money by Velvet Revolver was on what soundtrack for what movie? I can't even remember myself. So let's let AI do that.
That's when you've done too much.
Yeah. No, I got to say, shit. I can't. Oh, The Italian Job. The movie was The Italian Job. And so we cut that, and then we did the Hulk, and then we got the record deal. We didn't have a record deal when we put out Set Me Free. Right. We just put the song on the movie, and then when the song took off on its own, and then we got all these record people trying to get us, and that was cool. That was fun because they all take us out to dinner and try to wine and dine us and stuff. And then Clive Davis is the one that ended up signing us from RCA Records, and Tom Whalley from Warner Brothers Records wanted us, and Sylvia Rohn, the great executive from that label, not Mercury, but Elektra Records. And those were the days. There she is, Sylvia Rohn. Those were the days of, great big record companies and label deals, and those days are kind of over a little bit. But anyway, yeah. And making the record, we were all in it together as a band. We weren't phoning it in. We weren't emailing each other songs. We were in the studio together. So,
Proper way. That's how you gel as a band, is for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm great. I love playing England, man. Die-hard rock and roll fans. And some of the best in the world for rock and roll. And I've always loved playing in England. I got to make a trip back soon.
Please do. Very quickly, what's your favorite piece of drumming you've ever played, that you've ever wrote from a drummer?
I get a lot of drummers think that I did a good job on a record called Burnin' for Buddy, which was a Buddy Rich tribute album, and I played with the Buddy Rich Orchestra on Atlantic Records. And if you haven't seen it, it's on YouTube.
I'll definitely look at it because he was the maestro.
And it's a live recording, and Neil Peart from Rush produced me, which was scary as hell.
I'll check it out for sure.
Well, good to see you, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much, Matt.
Thanks.
Pleasure.
Thanks, Stephen. Appreciate you. Okay. We are going to bring on, hopefully, Mr. Dave. Let's invite Dave to the... Here he comes. Hi, Dave.
Hey, Dave. How you doing? We should ask some of the people that are on.
There we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. Can you guys see me?
We can.
Hear me? Oh,
Hey,
right
Dave.
on. Cool.
Welcome.
Awesome. Hey, Matt, thanks so much for doing this. This is awesome. This is a cool platform, too. I didn't know you had your hands in this. This is really
Yeah,
cool.
you're on an early stage. This is called the beta testing. So
yeah, right.
we're kind of on the inside track here. So thanks for coming on and letting us do this.
Cool. Yeah, and to echo, your folks there are so great at Experience Vinyl. It was awesome. And the customer service was top notch.
Thank you.
My question is, man, what are some of the similarities with working with a couple of enigmas, like great enigmas in the music frontman space of Axl and Scott? Like, what are some of the similarities, especially in relation to the recording process?
Well, I mean, great artistry doesn't always come with the perfect scenario, right? It's like, I've worked with some of the greatest singers in the world. I'm getting ready to work with another one, Steven Tyler. I'm doing his event next week.
Wow.
So I'm on the phone with him like 10 times a day. And it's and he is a guy that he is passionate, as we say, a personality, like every detail is going through him, and I'm his wingman.
Right.
And as a drummer, I've always learned to be a wingman and a foundational character. As a drummer, I'm a supportive guy, a member of the band. I'm there to not only keep the rhythm, but the other part of it is to keep the rhythm sort of in the entire atmosphere. I got to keep. So my job as a drummer, and why I've been in so many bands, is because I try to bring that positivity and that foundation to the group. With Steven, I'm setting up the whole band. I'm walking in there. We're going to rehearse. When he walks in the room, we're ready. I always say to musicians, we don't go to rehearsal to rehearse. We go to rehearsal to play the songs. You know them before you walk in the room. And if you don't know Walk This Way, I'm not hiring you anyway. So next, I'm like, so So the similarities between the singers, the great singers that I worked with, and as I was younger, it was a little harder for me to deal with because I'm an A personality and I'm a guy that wants to do things sort of like, let's go on stage on time. Let's do this. And that was hard when I was younger. But now, looking back in retrospect, I understand Axl a lot more than I did then, because his greatness on stage came because of what he had to deal with and what he brought. And that wasn't always a walk in the park. But once we got on stage, yeah, it was a rock show.
Yeah.
Same thing with Scott Weiland. He was a guy that was complicated. But I miss him so much because he was so great. And that greatness came from that complication. Ian Astbury, same thing. He could have a bit of a dark cloud, but I would be like the guy would be like, hey, man, how you feeling? And I'd say to him, take it out on stage. And that's what we did. And as musicians, the reason we all get into music, and you know this from listening to music, and I'm not sure if you play music, but
I wish.
it's just it's the greatest release on planet Earth, isn't it?
It's got to be.
You go to see a rock show, you listen to your record, whatever. What I get to do it as a living and share it with the audience. The audience shares their energy with me. So that's just such a high. And so I have to say I'm very blessed and grateful to be in the bands that I've been in. I'm not in the same band. I say this to Lars Ulrich or like the guys from Green Day. I'm like, how did you guys stay together? Because, that's the only dilemma. But the thing I've learned is I have other experiences. Like I'm doing Steven's show next week. I play with Billy Gibb. I play with all these people. Bucket list is like getting pretty full, and I just haven't played with Mick Jagger yet, but that could happen. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Right.
But thanks for coming on. I'm going to try to hit some more people, but I'm glad to meet you.
Yeah. Thanks, Matt, man. Appreciate everything. This is great.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. Right. I'm not going to try to get information out of you what you're doing with Steven Tyler, but I do want to take a moment to just let everybody know at the end, we are going to be doing a random giveaway on a 2-for combo of your book, Double Talking Jive, which is signed by you and the LP. So you can not only read, but you can listen. Matt, I don't know if you have anything you want to say about this while we pull up the next person, but we are going to be giving away a combo pack to somebody lucky in the crowd today.
Oh, it's a book. There's a lot more stories where that came from. Volume 2, which I haven't written yet, and I probably won't. But you probably heard some stuff here today that's not even in that book. So stories, tidbits. So
you ready for the next person? Here he comes.
All right.
Oh, look at that!
Hold on a second. I'll just change up this to my live streamer camera. Make it a little. There we go. Nice and clean.
That's okay. Professional.
No, thanks for having us. Thanks for having me. And thanks to Louis V. I work with Louis V on some stuff. He's also, we're also content creators, and thank you to your team, Matt. We're also a beta tester on your platform. We just started. Yashvi's been great, and we're putting together some stuff right now and testing some things out. So great platform. You can see the quality is wonderful. Right now we're using Zoom, and it's not very good. So you got, let's hope we can pick it up from Zoom. It's not great. But anyway, I did want to ask you a couple questions. I followed your career. You're a phenomenal drummer. But if you had the opportunity to choose like a different career path other than music, and what would that be?
My mother wanted me to be a culinary chef.
Oh, nice.
But I said, Mom, I can only make an omelet.
Well,
but I made a killer omelet. I never really excelled at anything else because I had an early manifestation that that's where I was headed all the way back to high school. I used to write in my yearbook to like other drummers, a couple of drummers. This friend of mine wrote in his yearbook. I wrote in his yearbook, when I play the Forum, I'll get you 2 tickets and 2 backstage passes. And I was 16 years old when I wrote that.
And did he hold you to it?
He did. Because the first night I played the Forum was with Guns N' Roses. 4 nights sold out. And he caught a hold of my mom and sent like a picture of what I wrote. And I'm like, shit, I better, But in my mind, that's where I was going. And I always say to people, as I was young, my mom was worried about me. So she'd say, hey, I want to put you through culinary arts school. I'm like, Mom, I'm going to be a rock star. What are you talking about? Like,
I want to make sure you had a fallback.
But I believe in that. I believe in setting the stage. And I used to draw my, me and the band on my peachy folder and the drum set. And that's universe. That's you talking to the universe, and the universe saying, hey, let's go. If you really believe in yourself and you want to starve for 10 years, let's go. And that's what I did. I starved for at least 10, maybe a little longer.
Look, I'm a huge Cult fan. Got a lot of their CDs. I know that you did a lot of work with the Cult, and I want to have other folks obviously get on here too. But I do have the album, Contraband, and I did buy it. But I will tell you, there's some pretty rare vinyl releases if you bought them when the CD came out. What, in 2004, right? And I think there's a limited edition red vinyl pressing out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you? I mean, do you collect vinyl as well?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, me and Seth started this together. So Seth started it and we came in together. I got 2 big vinyl rigs. I got one in my recording studio, and I roll with VPI turntables. I got Rogers amps.
Nice.
In my studio, I've got Dyna Audio speakers out of Denmark, and then here I got Klipsch Heresies because my house is 1961, so they're more like vintage vibe.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
My house
Good speakers, great speakers.
Yeah, my house is very mid-century, so they're making beautiful walnut cabinet. They're floor speakers. And I have my walnut cabinet with my VPI on there, and my Rogers, stuff.
Yeah,
he's a guy out of New Jersey. I think he's in New Jersey, but he hand built amps. And I just love the fact that vinyl's becoming like a real contender again. Like it's something that's the option for people besides pushing your Spotify.
Right.
Where it's a thing where you got to get in the mode, really vibe out, take time. You have to set down your phone. You have to put the record on. You have to get into it, A lot of people just can't fucking put the phone down.
No, I know they can't. No.
They got to fucking be on Spotify.
Yeah, or Tidal or whatever. I mean, they're all good, but there's nothing like putting on a good piece of vinyl, is there? No. Well, thanks for having me on.
Thanks, man.
All right. Take care of yourself.
Appreciate it.
Matt, are we good for another one?
Yeah. Let's go to. I came on at about 4:15, so let's go to 5:15. Is that okay?
Oh, that sounds good to me. I'm sure
we got enough questions. That's the thing.
Of course.
Yeah, I don't want to keep anybody out. We should probably see what's happening with that button popping off like that, right?
Hey, man, how's it going, man?
Hey, what's happening?
Nothing much.
What's your name?
I'm Alex from, I'm in Charlotte now, but I used to be in South Florida. So I saw you guys at Ozfest. I remember you opened for Black Sabbath there, which was awesome, and saw the Libertad World Tour. So
yeah, I wasn't on Ozfest because I broke my hand.
Oh.
That was Mark Schulman on drums. He looked kind of like me. He had blonde, spiky hair like mine. And a lot of people thought, hey, we saw you. And I'm like, shit. I broke my hand right before that tour. So I missed Ozfest.
Yeah, well, I made up for it in the Libertad tour in West Palm as well. So
that was me.
Yeah. I had a question for you. How did recording Contraband with Velvet differ from like the Use Your Illusions albums with Guns N' Roses? And was there anything you learned from those earlier albums that influenced your process?
Well, it was the same core guys, and we worked basically the same, and we recorded live, which a lot of bands just don't do anymore. And we were all in the same room together, and we were very prepared when we walked in the studio. We cut Contraband, the basic tracks, in I think 4 or 5 days. I did a couple tracks a day, And then Duff and me were so solid, we would just nail the track. We did 3 different versions of Slither, though. We cut that song 3 times. And I'm the one that got crazy about it, and the band got mad at me. But I kept saying, it's not right, you guys. It's not right. Something wrong with it. We were trying to be as live as possible. And Guns N' Roses never used a click track, and we certainly didn't have computers. It was all tape. So when we cut Contraband, we decided we were going to try the same approach. But it was modern times. It was 2005. We were competing against bands like Linkin Park. And in my mind, we had to kind of look at that and make ourselves as modern as we could by staying true to ourselves, if that makes sense. So we did that in the process of picking the producer, the studio, the sound. And me and Duff were really kind of like guys like that. Slash just is Slash. He's just that guy. Scott Weiland was like, he understood it all. Smart guy, very art. Like when we did Libertad, it went a little more art, and we were like, we're going with Scott. We were, but that collective is what made the sound. That kind of, GNR, same thing. You had Izzy, who's in the Rolling Stones. You got Slash, Axl, Duff, the punky guy, and then me, the classic drummer, rock drummer. So having the band together is what created it, and I think all that time and energy made that record that we put into it in the process, and I think I went off topic of your question, but basically, it was just amazing to go in and cut those tracks, and we all were on fire. We went. There's a documentary that goes with the making of the album, and we were really fired up when we went in there. You can hear it on the album. I mean, we're not punching a time clock. We went in there like, come on, we were like, and we played it like we were on like the biggest stage in the world. I mean, we were, and you can hear that. I mean, we didn't mess around. We didn't like. Oh, and I was going to say about Slither. So, first or second time we recorded it, I said it was speeding up in the solo, which is fine when you listen to songs from like classic albums. Shit slows up and speeds up, and it's okay. But I said to the band, I said we should have a consistent tempo. So I played to a click track on Slither, and we found the tempo, and the tempo is 141 BPM. And we played it that way, and it just came off more like, and it was modern times, meaning it needed to have that consistency, more like a Queens of the Stone Age, or it couldn't go like, woo. And so that's the song that ended up being on. When we mixed it, I went a little nutty too. You could ask Slash, you'd be like, Matt was a nut. I was like, turn up the hi-hat, So when we mix all that music, you have to change all the vocals and the Scott wanted to go, and Duff's like, no, hey. I'm like, no, hey. I mean, we labored on that. It had to be the perfect one, right? I mean, people listen to it and they go, what the hell? But in the background, we're going, no, that's wrong. Go, the intro of the song.
Yeah.
Was it, hey? Was it, hey? That's kind of lame, right? It's like, no disrespect to Def Leppard, but that's what Def Leppard would do. It'd be like, hey, it's like, no. And Scott was that guy. Scott had the cool factor. He was like, no, that's not cool. So that's the kind of shit that went into Slither, And so, but thanks, man. I mean, thanks for coming by, and thanks for buying.
I appreciate you having us. It's awesome.
Yeah, cool. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, brother.
All right, we have another one on deck for you, Matt. Invite going out. Give it one extra. There it is.
Cool. Shane. An Aussie audio file.
All right, Shane. I think just your camera and mic. It's muted.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Can we?
You're on. You're live.
I can't see a thing.
But we can hear you, though. Can you hear us?
I can hear you loud and clear. Hey, Matt. How you going? Dude, it's
Where
great. It's great to...
Where are you calling in from?
I'm from Australia, man. I'm down here in Oz.
Nice. I just talked to another Australian. Did you see that?
How's that, eh? It's a small world.
It is a small world.
Well, can you see me? Can you guys see me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Well, you were talking about hi-fi systems, and I mean, I've got a bit of a rig in here because I love my music as well. And
Woo! Serious.
And yeah, I'll probably get a bit serious when it comes to music. And got the album, absolutely love it. Big fan of Louis V's as well. I got to say, follow him as well. And this platform's amazing, really good. And I'm loving it. I'm absolutely sold on it. So my question for you is, can you talk to us a little bit? Now, this could be a bit, you'll have to be careful how you answer this, I am sure. But can you talk to us a little bit about your experiences on the road in the early years, like some of the crazy things that, you can talk about? Because I reckon a lot of us would like to know about that.
Did you see the PG rating on this?
Look, I knew you're going to have to PG it, I'm sure, but because I can only imagine. But
the list goes on and on. I mean, I did write a book, and you might be able to win it. Have you read it?
I haven't yet, but I did see Louis put that up, and I went, "Ooh, that would be."
I would say the book is probably a PG rating because I had a daughter. She's 3.5, and when the book was coming out, my daughter was born, and I kind of spilled a lot of I don't want to say it's cliche rock and roll stuff because back in the day, we did what we did. It was just a different time.
Yeah.
It wasn't like this world we're living in now where nobody got hurt. It was rock and roll. It was entertainment. You're going through a town. There's a bunch of girls and they're backstage and they're not forced to be there. They're there because they love rock, and you're like, okay. And I'm the guy in the band. And by the way, I got in the band because number one, I love playing music. Number two, I love girls. So
don't we all?
The combination was like, this is perfect sense for my life going forward. And I wasn't a good surfer. I grew up in a beach town, and I realized they were getting all the chicks. So I better do something. So I got in a band. I'm okay looking. I'm not like the most handsome guy, but I got to do what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, being in Australia, Australian girls are interesting because I remember being in Bondi Beach.
Oh, yeah, in Sydney. Yep.
And I was at a bar. And it was the only time I had 3 girls in a fist fight over who was going to go home with me.
Wow.
And I was like,
now this is the kind of stuff we want to hear about. Yeah.
Well, those are these Australian girls are like that, right? They're just like, and they were just like, and I'm like, well, why can't we all go together? Why can't you all come? So that's what happened.
Yeah, they staked their claim, and if
I
they
lived upstairs from that bar on Bondi Beach for about a month after that night. I said, I'm staying here. This place.
Wow, that would have been wild.
At the end of the Velvet Revolver tour, I stayed in Australia by myself because I was still single for almost a month. I don't know if you know.
Wow. I did not know that.
And I lived in that area, Bondi Beach, which is party town, right?
That absolutely is mega party town. My word. That is right where you needed to be, brother, for sure.
It was. It's all a little blurry, but that part I remember was the bar thing. So yeah, lots of good times like that and just, crazy adventures. And you know, everything I ever dreamt of as a young guy times 10. You know, I always
Awesome.
said my dreams as a young guy wanting to be in a band have completely outdone the expectations. And that's a gift.
That's all you can ask for, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, and you know what? It hasn't stopped yet. Some stuff's still happening, and it's just different. People are like, why aren't you in Guns N' Roses? Because that was then, and this is now.
Yeah, yeah. Life changes. There's different
I'm
things
playing
you
with
do as you
Steven
go through
Tyler
your
next
life.
week. I'm going to be playing with Aerosmith in about 4
Yeah.
days. Yeah. So
Is that getting recorded at all, or is that
I don't know. We're talking about it because it's going to be announced Saturday. So we got a bunch of really Joan Jets coming, Billy Idol. So I'm telling you guys now because this is a special event. Why not?
Man, that'll be killer. I hope somebody's recording that. I'm an ex-sound engineer.
It's an event called Janie's Fun, and Steven Tyler's charity. So I'm the
Hopefully somebody's saving that for all of us to enjoy.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming, man. I'm going to try to do
brother.
A couple more, and then I got to probably cut out. But thanks for coming on.
Appreciate you.
Yeah,
thanks, Louie.
Thanks, Shane. All right. Ready for the next one if you are, Matt?
Yeah.
Invite has been sent.
We'll do a couple more, and then we can pick up, another time.
Give it a second here, and if they don't accept, we'll move on. There we go.
Oh, it's the same guy. He's back.
So, sorry. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. I know what I'm doing.
Is there any? Let me just ask you if it's okay if there anybody else waiting in line, because I'm trying to get a couple more people.
That's cool.
Yeah. What do you think, Louie?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thanks, brother.
No, it's all good, man.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Yeah. Don't know if we invited this person up yet, Matt, but we're going to give it a go.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
They might not be responding, so let's pick somebody else.
Yeah.
So Matt, while I grab somebody else here, since the person's not responding, is the Aerosmith, is that just a live show that you're doing, or?
Yeah, it's for Steven's Janie's Fun, and he hasn't been singing. He canceled the whole tour, but he's going to sing a few songs. We got Lainey Wilson, Jelly Roll, and I'm the musical director. So it'll be a great place for Gigaverse to be, but I'll be busy playing the drums. But I could maybe open it up and let some people see what's going on.
All right. Okay. Give this a... Apologies here, Matt. We will get you another question, I promise you.
Okay. And then probably that'll be it.
Your chat has been so interactive. It's finding the questions and all of the interaction that's been going on in the chat, my friend.
There you go. Grab that guy. Radcon.
All right, let's grab Radcon. Here you come.
Radcon says, come on, let's go.
Let's go. Thank you for making my job easier.
Yeah. Light it up. This will be the last one. And then I got to roll to my recording studio.
And then we'll go do the random giveaway of your book and vinyl combo.
Cool.
All right. You got to come off camera and mic. You wanted to come on stage.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if, for the future, since we're beta testing, we can talk about this. I know that is it a security thing, or is it another way
security thing?
We have to figure it out, because it'd be cleaner if it wasn't that way.
All right, Conrad, if we can't get you on, we're going to have to find somebody else. Should we spin a wheel and have somebody else request?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Be a good random
One
finale.
more thing, I gotta head out, and I want to thank everyone for being here. And is there any way to see the whole audience? Can we do that?
Ooh. Invite everyone? I don't know.
Is that possible?
I'm sure Yashi heard that request. All right.
Yeah, let's see if we can see everyone after this. That'd be cool. I mean, it's a lot of people on the page, but it'd be 2 pages probably.
Be a nice screenshot for people to take.
Yeah.
All right. Jero, you invited. If you can go ahead. There we go.
Oh, there he is. Oh.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
How are you?
Okay. I don't have video, but that's okay.
Yeah.
My question is,
Can't
Matt,
see us?
I can't see anybody right now, but
Oh, okay.
Matt, I met you on the Rock Legends cruise just last February.
All right.
And wonderful conversations with you. But my question is, when you were producing the Hardware album, whose decision was it to bring in Rebecca and Megan from Larkin Poe?
Michael Fiorentino was the co-writer with me and Billy on the record. He's a Nashville guy, and we all love Larkin Poe, and we had that song, and it just seemed perfect for them because me and Billy and Mike wrote all the songs, and we did that out in Pioneer Town, and I actually wrote a lot of lyrics, and me and Billy.
He played bass, I think.
I played bass on a couple songs, yeah. Billy played bass on a couple. And I remember there was a girl vocal on that song that I sang. I'm trying to think how it went, but it was high. And we're like, we need some female vocals. And then Mike went, what about Larkin Poe? We're like, yeah.
Rebecca's awesome.
And we got them. And they said, yeah, we'll do it. And that's the track. And I think that track was killer.
It's very killer.
Yeah. I'm spacing on the name of it right now.
Stacking Bones.
Oh, yeah. Stacking Bones.
Stacking Bones.
Stacking Bones. I remember we were writing that lyric. Billy was talking about like going through the desert and, money. It was about basically these guys that were thieves and they were like stacking bones. And everything was like a metaphor on that album. Like when we were in the desert, we wrote West Coast Junkie. I wrote all the lyrics on West Coast Junkie. And I remember telling Billy, will you sing a lyric, Junkie? But let me tell you, it's not about drugs. It's about a girl. And I'm a West Coast junkie from a Texas town. And when I get to Cali, it's going down. She's so tight like no one around because I'm a West Coast junkie from a lonesome Texas town. Billy goes, I like it. I'll sing it. And that was one of the greatest experiences I've had making a record in my life, bar none. Billy Gibbons. That album, Hardware. I think we have an Experience vinyl, don't we, Seth?
And he loved his pajamas.
Yeah, we wore pajamas making the whole album. He turned me on to Brooks Brothers pajamas, and then we got into pajamas by a London pajama company called Derrick Rose. And me and Billy Gibbons were in London, and we went in Harrods department store, and we went in there, and there was these pajamas, and they were like $800 a pair. It's like I could show you some if we have more time, but I have a pajama collection, and we wore them on the road, and we would go out. We'd get off the tour bus, and we'd all have pajamas on, and I just put a leather jacket on over it, and it was a cool look. It's like, and I just Billy's one of my dearest friends. I love him like nobody, no other human on the planet. He's
a one of a kind.
He is, and we played that cruise together, which was cool.
Yes, it was.
Well, I want to thank everyone for coming on and knocking this out. We're going to do this again. Experience Vinyl's got our own channel now, so the plan is we're going to bring on some other talent, some other artists, friends of mine. I mean, we'll have some fun. And if you guys go to Experience Vinyl, you know, maybe we'll do the same thing. We sell 100 Ringo records. I'll get Ringo. And if you still buy 100 Ringo records, can come on here. Same thing with Blues Traveler, friends of ours. Talking to the guys from Journey, different bands. So have some fun, get to meet the fans, and, you know, shoot the shit. And some info that maybe they've never heard before. You guys have never heard. A little bit of inside tidbits.
Well, thank you, Matt. We really appreciate you being on. Should we invite the audience up to rush up on stage, Matt?
Let's do it. Let's see what that looks like.
This is your screenshot opportunity, folks. We're going to go ahead and
And we
invite.
can go like, yeah.
Let's try not to all talk at the same time. That would just madness.
I got 6.
Yeah, we're on there.
I got 6. That's all I can see.
Oh, it's pages in the bottom. You can scroll.
Okay, pages. Let me see everybody. There it is. I got 3 pages. Woo!
Hello.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, there you go. Everyone, we really thank you for coming out here tonight and supporting this live Q&A. I am going to go ahead and do the random drawing by just quickly selecting somebody. Oh, hold on. We got to add one more and make sure they get wherever my mouse stops. I'm moving. Not looking at the. Here we go. All right. It stopped at Lanigan. Sorry, Lanigan Forever. You win the combo, the book and the record. So we'll reach out to you.
Let me tell them what the record is.
Yeah.
The record is tidbits of the book, and I speak sort of like a spoken word vibe. That's my 62 Galaxy. I do a spoken word over music that I wrote up in the Joshua Tree, and I recorded the music, and then I do tidbits of the like little passages from the book over songs.
That's awesome. I can't wait.
It's
Really
cool.
cool. Really cool.
Yeah.
Folks, we really thank you for
Thanks,
joining this event and being part of this experience. We really appreciate you. Any closing words, Matt?
No, I'm really grateful you guys all showed up, and thanks for buying the record, and thanks for being rock and roll, you know, supporters and keeping it alive. You know, rock is not dead, Gene Simmons. I'm sorry. He says that all the time. I'm like, come on, Gene. You know, rock and roll is alive and well. So yeah, I just appreciate Gigaverse is something that we're going to be launching very soon. We appreciate you guys coming on and beta testing this one because we're working on getting it perfect for these kind of experiences. So thanks so much. Have a great, I'm in LA, Palm Springs. So have a great night wherever you are, great day. We got Australia here. See y'all later.
Thank you.
See y'all later. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
All right, folks, again, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. If you want